Good morning, everyone. Just want to welcome the board here today. Thanks for coming. We all know why we're here today to discuss cultural competence. Wanted to go over with all of you the things that Greg and I have been working on to train the employees to make this transition between Spokes of Hope Worldwide and Society for New Americans go very smoothly and ensure that everyone understands cultural competence and its importance. So you should all have received a packet when you got in here today, and in the packet was a handout. If you want to take out that, we are going to use that to kind of follow along. I have prepared a little bit of a outline of what we're going to talk about today. There's also some exercises in there, and I'll go over that later. So with the handout, I prepared this in hopes that this could be a tool for our employees to reflect back on. We're going to use it today to walk us through everything, but this is something that they can continually pin up and refer back to when they need it. So I want to run through the training, but maybe not give you the detailed boringness of the entire training. I think we're all pretty educated on cultural competence. This is more so you understand how our employees are all going to have a good base knowledge going forward working with people and the refugees. So everyone kind of follow along with me here. So I'm going to start with the employees and asking what cultural competence is and ask them if they're culturally competent, and if they think so, why, and then explain it to them, that it's the ability to interact effectively with people and of different socioeconomic backgrounds and cultures. To the left-hand side of our handout here, I'm going to lead you to some examples of why communication can be difficult with different cultures. That you should always remain open and accepting without bias. And I have here, I'll read you just one. So one of the differences that can make it, this is so the employees understand that, people have different beliefs, such as, what age is appropriate to get married at. Even right within our own country, within our own American culture, there's different subcultures. And everyone feels differently about marriage and what age is appropriate. Some people still think it's okay at 16, and some think, you shouldn't probably get married till you're 25. So that's just one example. And I have several there, as you can read, and I plan on talking with the employees a little more about that, like what, let them interact and give some examples, because I'm sure some of them have been working already with the refugees and have their own ideas. So to the right, I'm going to direct you to the verbal and nonverbal cues. So that is where I'm going to talk with the employees and really explain the importance of verbal and nonverbal cues, such as eye contact and head nodding and just the language in general. And again, we can go over some other ideas and things that are verbal or nonverbal that people do when they're comfortable or not comfortable with a conversation, and just little things that we can slowly learn and pick up on, and how we can trigger us to pay better attention to these cues, and it will help with our communication. Which leads me to the other side. If you want to, I'll flip that over. Developing and maintaining cross-cultural relations is important to helping you gain knowledge and improve interaction with other cultures. This useful skill allows you to work effectively with other cultures. And as you can see here, I've listed several different ways that it helps you build friendships, ease cultural differences. And again, this is another little bit where I can be having a discussion with the employees and some interaction and some sharing of experiences. And lastly, I listed a couple examples of my own personal experiences, and I'm hoping that will encourage and help facilitate conversations about maybe how some of our employees have dealt with their own cultural differences with people. What was the situation, and how did they really handle it? And, do they think they did it effectively? Do they think there's room for improvement? And so here's where the exercises that Greg and I came up with really play into this training. So Greg had decided it would be a really good idea to do a mini autobiography, and I really agreed with him there. So what we did was we came up with a simple pick a culture that you identify with, and tell us why. Tell us why you identify with this culture. Tell us the positives, the negatives, experiences, and even maybe describe a time that you were misunderstood, or, you know, what would happen to you if you had gone to another culture, gone to another country? Would you fit in? What would it be like for you to sink yourself into a completely foreign place? I think identifying with yourself and then identifying with another culture, they definitely go together, because you can't possibly identify with what someone else is going through unless you think about what if it happened to you and your experience. So that also plays into our next set of exercises, which were really actually fun. I performed them first, and that was to pick one, maybe two cultures that of choice, to list what you know, or what you think you know even, about that culture. Say, you know, we pick Colombian and Vietnamese, and just list everything that you know about the Colombian culture or the Vietnamese culture, and then do some research and really dig into it and see what you can find, and what that will do to combining those two things, is what you know, what you thought you know, and now combining it with what you've learned. And how did it affect it? Were you right? Were you wrong? You know, how close were you? Were you on target? And do you feel that you have room to grow and that you are accepting of other people? I think this is a really important tool, because I did find that I actually had some prejudices on my own. Not surprised, but when I really dove into one of the cultures I found that I had experiences with, at my daughter's school, for example, they have all these children and they really can't afford them. They don't have stable jobs. They're still new here and they just keep having children. And I thought, how can they do this? Why are they doing this? And then I did some research and come to find out, you know, their value for money is different than ours. So they don't, here in America, we sometimes have babies pending how much money we have or our financial situation. Are we ready to have a family? They don't judge their situation that way. Other cultures don't always do what we do with finances. And in a lot of cultures, for women, having babies is an important status symbol for them. It means they're very well revered in their community because they have these children and they can take care of them. And, you know, again, in their home country, money is not the same. All you have to do is love and provide for your children there, and you're good. So I really opened my eyes a little bit as to, you know, when I look at somebody, what I'm thinking and what I should not be thinking. I should really be a blank slate and just really understand them. So with that said, I think all of these exercises will be great. They'll add to the cultural understanding that our employees all have. I think it's going to be instrumental to the partnership between Spokes of Hope Worldwide and Society for New Americans. By educating ourselves and learning awareness and tolerance for the differences in other cultures, we can better serve the immigrants and the resettled refugees we're assisting. By working together and utilizing these tools provided, we can all foster productive, cohesive relationships. So I hope I have explained what cultural competence is for them. I think, and for you, although everyone is pretty aware of what it is here, cultural competence can be such a useful tool in the communication. And I think it's so important that we have all these employees with a good base and a good starting point that we can grow and maintain. The reflection and awareness are the best ways to become cultural competent. So the exercises that we mentioned here today and applying them to what you already know can just educate them extremely well. And the more you know about cultures, the more helpful you can be. We want to help these people. And I think this is going to be a great start for us. So the ability to interact effectively with these people of all cultures is necessary for what we're doing. and vital to the partnership and our mutual collaboration to help immigrants and the refugees. So cultural competency will help us provide equal opportunities for all the members and decrease cultural distance, foster productive and cohesive communities, and most of all, welcome the new Americans. So I hope you found the training useful and think that we'll be giving our employees good skills, and I really hope the rest of this partnership goes smoothly. I hope you've all enjoyed yourself today. I want to thank you again for coming, and feel free to ask any questions. I have more examples, and I have more handouts if we need it. So again, thank you so much.